Louis Riel Day is such a significance, not only for the Red River Métis, not only for the people who live in our communities, but for all Manitobans, because he truly is the father of Confederation for our province and the founder of Manitoba.
I want to thank President Chartrand and the Métis Cabinet for all of the important work that you've done over the years as the MMF to advocate for Mr. Riel's proper place in our province's history.
The pride and the sense of relief that my people feel now, that we're finally there. But this is the beginning of change, I hope. This resonates the message now, and to all Manitobans, that he's all of ours. He's not just the Métis Premier. He's the Premier of Manitoba, Louis Riel, for all Manitobans.
We're stepping up today to acknowledge another piece of Manitoba's true history, which I think helps all of us as Manitobans better understand where we come from and where we're going.
Okay, on your mark, get set, history.
Hey.
Okay, what it says, Will? First Premier, Louis Riel, March 1870, June 1870, Royal Assent given December 2023, founder of Manitoba, proud Red River Métis.
I think there's a symbolism to recognizing Louis Riel right out of the gate with our first bill. And I think it's about paying tribute to where our province started, who our first premier was, and saying, as we move forward into the future, we want to ensure that all Manitobans understand the importance of Louis Riel.
Mm-hmm. This really was important for us to see it at the assembly, and I seen the tears dripping down so many cheeks and eyes, and it just touched my heart. And as I said, today's speech, the podium will always have a special place for Wab and our family.
Yeah, when we were at the assembly there, I also was watching you, and it seemed like victory.
An act to bestow upon Louis Riel the honorary title that reflects who he truly is, which is Manitoba's first premier.
Very powerful moment to witness. It will be the emotion, but also to see, I think, like the realization of one part of the journey.
It's a day of pride. There's not a question about that. It's gonna, in my visits on Louis Riel Day to different locations and different locals, the applause, the pride, and you could sense it in that room, knowing that this day is coming today on Monday, on Louis Riel Day, that you and I've asked my granddaughter to honor us, to be with us, and she's already at the kitchen table asking you many questions about politics in the future. And so I want her to send a message to the youth that this is now a new beginning, a new change. And when we lay that royal assent in front of his grave, I tell you that'll be just like, if people can see inside, you'll be a glow of light that is bursting inside my heart and my soul, because this is something that means so much to our people. And I can tell you, you'll always be, and your government will always be somebody that's respected in our government, no matter what.
President Chartrand and I had the opportunity to take the cover off the photo and unveil the new plaque. We went to go sit down, and we're sitting there looking at the photo, the portrait photo of Mr. Riel. He's a very young man at a time when he led the province. And I was looking at this photo of the young man looking back at us, and I thought to myself, the story of Louis Riel is not over. The story of the Métis is not over. The story of Manitoba is not over. We are still writing that story today.
2020, you'll hear me in Ottawa at the celebration of Riel, which we were invited in Ottawa, and we had high statues and everything of Riel. And I spoke to the media there, and I told them, we're going to one day get Riel to be recognized as the first premier. We're not done yet. We're not finished. And that day will come. That was in 2020. Canada has more acceptance to recognizing him as the first premier. We still haven't got that achieved in Manitoba yet, but we will. So 3 years later, WAB arrives, and the world changes for the Métis in the context of Riel, and hopefully in the context of our future.
And so when we lay somebody to rest, when we visit their gravesite, it's all about how do we remember them in our hearts and our minds going forward. And that's what this recognition of the first premier of Manitoba is all about.
Stories will be told about this particular day, that it happened 154 years later. So I am going to be proudly honored to represent my people, my government, that we achieved a day to make Riel the first premier that he always was, and finally give him back his true title as who he truly has been. He's not a madman, he's not a martyr in the sense of fighting against Canada for nothing. He's not a man that's a traitor. He's actually a real leader for all Manitobans.
Today, we see us not only celebrating Riel, we see us celebrating the historic Métis Nation. For that, the pride is so evident in every smile that you see at the ceremony here today. Very, very happy.
President Chartrand has done such a great job, and we are so grateful that we have a premier who supported this, and now it's happened. This day we will never forget.
So to me, it's historic in a sense that it's just going to skyrocket, I think, in terms of people wanting to now come home to our family and come home to their communities, to their Métis communities, to their Red River Métis communities.
Today, especially today, in recognizing Louis Riel as the first premier of Manitoba is to give us credit that this is your home, this is where you belong.
If Canada would have recognized him as the first premier, then our life would have been different because they would have looked at us different. A lot of racism and stuff wouldn't have happened. We would have took our rightful place in Canadian society.
It's just a really heartfelt day because there's so many along the way that have fought to finally get to where we are here with this particular day and event. So it's quite emotional and it's amazing.
I look forward to this partnership with you, Mr. Premier, and I thank you again from the bottom of my heart. My nation will always be respectful to what you have done for us. Thank you very much.
All right. Miigwech.
Miigwech. Thank you very much.